Kuzangpo and a very warm welcome to Bhutan this week. I'm Pemal Hadan. Our top stories this week. The Anti-Corruption Commission requested the High Court to uphold the Mongol Court's verdict on the Gelpashing land allotment case. Despite being registered under Phintsling Tromde, Pekershing does not even have basic amenities. And the studies show most rape cases go unreported because the rapist is often someone related to the victim. In its rebuttal statement at the High Court last week, the Anti-Corruption Commission requested the court's full bench to uphold the Mongol Court's verdict on the Gelpashing land allotment case.
ACC stressed that Home Minister had failed to abide by His Majesty's Kasho of 1987, whereby failing check and balance. Criminal intent and official misconduct were also charged against the Home Minister. ACC's representative said it doesn't matter whether the plots were allotted out of goodwill. ACC also stressed that it also doesn't matter whether the benefits that the Home Minister and the committee members gained from allotting plots was indirect. What counts, it says, is that the plots were allotted to those who were not entitled. ACC mentioned that there are still some 25 people who are eligible but did not get the plots. ACC also said some of the committee members were not aware of the rules and regulations governing plot allotment, and that it was the Zongda as the head of the committee who took the decision. ACC said that the Defence Counsel is supposed to appeal on behalf of the committee members as well. But in the first hearing, the Defence Counsel, ACC said, appealed more in favour of the Home Minister. The legal counsel of the Home Minister, who is also representing the other committee members, will submit its rebuttal on Monday. Meanwhile, the first hearing for the National Assembly Speaker is scheduled for Monday. Kinga Wangmo for BBS News.
The High Court preliminary hearing for Speaker Jimmy Sittim on the Gelpashing land allotment was held on Monday. The Speaker was represented by his legal counsel Cheddar, who once again questioned the legal rights of the ACC to prosecute the case.
The legal mandate of the ACC to prosecute the case was once again brought up. The Speaker's legal counsel, Cheddar, said because the case happened more than a decade before the Anti-Corruption Act came into being. Therefore, ACC, he said, has no legal standing to prosecute the case. Cheddar also said that the allotments were done as per His Majesty's Kasho of 1987 and in accordance with the circular issued by the then Secretary of the Ministry of Social Services and the Bhutan Municipal Act of 1999. Defending against the allegations made by the ACC in regard to allotment of larger plots to 23 individuals, Cheddar said proper procedures have been followed. He said the allotments to these individuals were done only following endorsements by the dealing officials as well as the committee members. The Anti-Corruption Commission will submit its rebuttal statement this Friday. Meanwhile, the legal counsel of the Home Minister, Jamyong Sharapwongdi, said the Home Minister and the committee members cannot be charged differently, nor can the degree of their involvement be treated differently. This, Jamyong Sharapwongdi said, is because they were all equally involved in making the decision to allot plots to Kachu Drotsang, Dramitse Drotsang and Kinsangdema, a private individual. Jamyong Sharapwongdi also pointed out that the ACC have not understood the interrelations between the clauses A and B of Section 294 of the Penal Code, which gives the Zongda and the committee members authority to allot plots. He also said the committee members have served for decades with dedication and therefore it's not fair to punish them for something that they cannot be blamed for because they did not breach any laws. Today's submission made on behalf of the Home Minister and the committee members are being treated as closing argument by the court. With additional information from Kingawangmo, Pemotsuki for BBS News.
For the smooth conduct of the upcoming National Council elections, police will be carrying out security checks beginning 13th of April. People are requested to carry the relevant identification documents at all times. On 22nd April from 6 p.m. onwards, the international borders will be sealed for 24 hours. Concerned construction owners of the expatriate workers are also asked to ensure that all the workers remain at their place of residence on the poll day on 23rd April. The Common Forum for the National Council candidates is being received well by the people. Unlike the last elections, this new format of campaigning, people in Pema Khansail say, is saving them a lot of trouble.
Pema Khansail has 3 candidates vying for a seat in the National Council. People of the 11 Gyoks in the Dzongkhag would have to take 3 days off from their busy farming schedule if the candidates campaigned individually. This time they have been saved from this trouble, thanks to Common Forum, the new format of campaigning that requires candidates to campaign together.
In the past, we had to attend campaigns of every candidate separately. But now the candidates campaign together, which is less hassle for us. We do not have to take off a day each for every candidate.
Common Forum also leaves lesser ground for mudslinging among the candidates, said some. It prevents candidates from engaging in unnecessary personal attacks against each other. Compiled for Triledoji, Sonamfunso for BBS News.
It has been 5 years since Pekershing village was registered under Finsiling Tromde. Finally, they will be reaping the benefits of being a part of Tromde by having access to road for which alignment works are scheduled to begin by the mid of this year. However, people from Lower Pekershing say more than the road, they need access to safe drinking water.
Chandrabadur Mongar has been living in Pekershing for more than 4 decades now. The only change he saw since the village became a part of the Tromde was increasing land prices. On the other hand, water woes in his village remain the same. 13 houses in Lower Pekershing depend on 2 spring waters in the area for drinking and washing purposes.
We have to cut open the pipes 15 to 20 times. Still, there's no water. They say it's under city, which actually means we should have proper drinking water facility, but that's not the case.
Villagers added their water pipes run dry most of the time as the water from these 2 sources is minimal and has to be shared. Moreover, the water pipes with debris from the sources often remain blocked.
During rainy season, the water is filled with mud. We have to filter it, boil and then drink. At times, especially in winter, even this water dries up. For instance, look at the rural places. Facilities are better there. They say it's city area here and we don't even have a proper safe drinking water supply. We would be grateful if this matter could be looked into as soon as possible.
Pekershing Tromde Thimbe said the issue has been repeatedly raised since the first sitting of the Tromde Chokde.
In 2010, the Member of Parliament from our constituency provided us with water supply which benefited us for a few days. After that, the source itself dried up. So now the things are back to how it used to be.
According to Finsiling Tromde, since there are no water sources near the village, the water has to be pumped out from underground. To carry out this process known as boring, access to road is important. Therefore, the priority has been given to the road construction. Until then, for water, people like Chandrabadur will have to continue with the ritual he has been following since he first settled in the village. Pekershing village has 26 households. From Finsiling, Sonomongdi, BBS News.
Forestry officials in Paro have seized 2 trucks for illegal timber transportation. Both the trucks were caught from Shaba Gyok last week. The first truck was caught with blue pine timber and has been fined 27,000 nultrim. The second truck was carrying mixed confiner timber. Forestry officials in Paro have caught 22 cases of illegal timber transactions so far this year. Studies show that rape is the least reported crime worldwide. In most cases, it goes unreported because the rapist, according to the experts, could be someone the victim knows and trusts, and which makes it more complicated for the victims.
I was raped repeatedly by my own father and my brother every night. I did not share this with my mother, although I felt she knew what was happening. This was also one of the reasons why I started abusing drugs. I found solace in them since I did not trust anyone at home.
This is the story of one of the rape victims. She could be just one among many victims whose stories remain unheard. Studies say rape is the least reported crime worldwide. Most rape cases remain hushed due to the social stigma associated with it. According to Catherine Cross, an attorney by profession who has also worked as an executive director of a rape crisis center in the US, sexual violence, particularly rape, is a sensitive issue where the victims speak less about. She said this makes the situation even more difficult when victims get raped by a person they know and trust. Although there are no statistics on crime that have been reported by the Bhutan police to the United Nations, United States State Department asserts there is relatively less crime in Bhutan. But statistics are not considered reliable.
Most of the cases, rape cases, since it happens within, the closed door, and most of the people, perpetrators, are someone you know. That's why most of the cases don't get reported. And also, women don't feel very comfortable about reporting such cases because, they take it as a kind of a shame on themselves.
Between 2011 and 2012, about 100 cases of sexual and physical assaults were reported in the country. But only 19 cases were dealt by the Renew, which were mostly incest between 2008 and 2011. Of this, 99% or almost all the victims seemed to know their rapists. Sonam Funso, PBS News.
Cloth vendors in Gelfu are without a permanent space to sell their goods. The place where they are selling at the moment has been given to them only temporarily.
It's been about 9 months since the cloth vendors were not allowed to sell at the weekend vegetable market. It is meant only for selling vegetables, fruits and dairy products. Following a request from the vendors, they were given a space near the parking in the vegetable market area to sell their clothes. For now, the vendors are happy and busy making their makeshift stalls, but this space is only for the time being.
For 9 months, we had to stop our business because they told us that we are not allowed to sell at the weekend vegetable market. We requested the Tromde to give us a space to sell our clothes, and they gave us this spot for 4 months. Tasha told us that we will be issued with a notice to vacate the place a month in advance. After that, maybe we will have to request Tasha once again.
Meena said she cannot afford to rent a shop in the town as it is expensive. For someone like Chunizam, it is the main source of income for her family.
If I don't do this business, I will have problem paying house rent and supporting my children. I'm willing to open a shop in the town, but it's difficult to find an empty space, and moreover, the rent is very high.
The Tumde official said the space has been given to the vendors as a temporary measure. This is following request from the vendors that the clothes which have been left over after they have been bought from selling at the weekend vegetable market are being damaged by rats. So it is only to allow them to sell off the remaining stock. Once that is done, the Tumde will be moving the mid stalls to the area that has been given to the cloth vendors temporarily. This will be done in the coming financial year. The Tumde does not have any plan to provide a separate space for the cloth vendors for now. Shauri Gurung, BBS News, Gelifu.
Sarbang is one of the Dzongkhaks identified under the Winter Vegetable Production Program, but surprisingly, not many local vegetables are available at the Gelifu Weekend Vegetable Market.
Visit the Gelifu Weekend Vegetable Market and you will find it flooded with imported vegetables. Only a few vendors from Tirang can be found selling the locally produced vegetables in one corner of the market. They said people still buy the vegetables despite it being slightly expensive than the imported vegetables.
Sunday एक दिन मात्रै हो यहाँ चाहिँ अब फ्राइडे टु सन्डे सम्म हो इन्डियनको कहिले पनि ल्याउँदैन राख्दैन म चिराङबाट आएको चिराङमै छिमेकीहरुको साथीहरु किनेर ल्याउँछ.
They said that they cannot bring the vegetables in huge quantity as the heat spoils it. Meanwhile, vendors selling imported vegetables say They buy local vegetables for sale only if the farmers come and sell it to them at the vegetable market. So where are the locally grown vegetables going? Some farmers sell it in Thimphu, while others like Ambika Mahat of Dolungang village does not have to go anywhere to sell her products. She grows a variety of vegetables.
This year we sold about 1,500 to 2,000 kilograms of cabbage and cauliflower and about 100 kilograms of broccoli. People come to my place to buy vegetables. We don't face any difficulty in selling the vegetables. Sometimes we also take it to Gelifu and sell it to the vegetable vendors because we don't have time to sell it, but I am thinking of selling it myself.
But some vendors think that vegetables hardly make it to the vegetable market due to lack of quality, quantity and variety. Ishori Gurung, BBS News, Gelifu.
The elderly in Jerigang village in Dagana are lamenting the loss of Khenka, their native language, except for a handful of the older populace. No one else in the village speak Khenka.
Jerigang village in Dagana, popularly known as King Jerigang, has managed to hold on to its traditional way of life with many of their customs intact. Their mother tongue has, however, lost its battle against time. A language that was spoken since time immemorial is now spoken by only a few among the older generation. The rest communicate in Dzongkha.
Our language has almost disappeared. Over the years, we had people from other parts of the country come and settle here. I think this might have had some impact.
The village elders say it saddens them to see their children showing no interest in learning their native language. The village elders appear to find comfort in the fact that the younger generation is becoming well versed in Dzongkha. A price has been paid though. Compiled for Fuba, Dichinongmo, BBS News.
Sergithang Gyeok in Sirang is blessed with fertile land, but with no farm road, most of the farm produce don't make it to the market. They either rot or are fed to animals.
With fertile soil, the farmers in Sergithang village in Sirang are able to grow variety of vegetables. But to their dismay, most of these vegetables never reach the market. With no farm road network, farmers have to walk for about 6 hours to reach the nearest road point. This disadvantage has made farmers cultivate crops solely for self-consumption.
We grow vegetables for self-consumption. We have excess produce, even enough for selling in the market. But we were never able to sell them as the nearest road is very far away from our village. There is no market for our products.
66 years old Tashi Gelsen and his wife cultivate variety of crops and vegetables every season. Whatever is left after the consumption, they feed it to their livestock. They said selling it in the market would have definitely fetched them good income.
Motor road will definitely benefit us. If the farm road from the Gyeok center is connected to our village, then we will be able to sell our vegetable to as far as Thimphu and other towns. This will also improve our livelihood.
Our land is very fertile and all kinds of vegetables and crops grow here. But we cannot sell anything as we cannot neither consume all the vegetables nor sell them either. We give them away to poor people.
Meanwhile, the Geok Administration Office says there are plans to connect all 5 Geoks with feeder road from the Geok Center in future. According to the Sergelthang GUP, survey for Sergelthang-te feeder road has been complete.
There
is road widening going on till Phuntenchu and Chirangte Y junction, but not up to our Geok. We will be grateful if the road widening is done till our Geok Center, since it is just few kilometers from there. There are plans to connect feeder roads to our Geoks, but the concern is that even the existing road till the Geok is in bad condition.
Sergelthang-te village has 40 households. Compiled for Yishingidup, Sherab Zangmo for BBS News.
That's all we have for this week. Thank you for joining us. This is Pramil Hardin saying goodbye.